The roars from the crowd give you their viewpoint. Thomas, there have been a lot of friendlies that have been fun to watch. This one was something special, though.
It certainly was, Phil. Not just the 9 goals, not just because the friendly became competitive, but because 2 generational icons, or maybe 2 icons of all time, in Messi and Ronaldo being on the pitch for maybe the last time, both in the score sheet. You could not have a better ending in front of a capacity crowd and a game that was watched internationally.
Well, think about this, just to give you an idea. Ali Al-Boulay, at the end of a 9-goal game, is still arguing about the penalty that ended up being the winner. It's a friendly, but it was a night that these players, forget the fans, these players will not forget. And think about those youngsters, 16, 17, 18 years of age, in these surroundings with these legends.
An unforgettable night, Phil Shane, as you said. One to remember. And never say never, but there's no guarantee that these 2, Ronaldo and Messi, will play again against each other. So the last dance might be appropriate. Neymar still doing his samba with Messi.
They're still having fun. If you believe some of the reports, PSG might be shedding Neymar to make room for Messi, but they were saying that about Neymar and Mbappe at the start of the season, and Neymar has been one of the players of the season. And it all depends how the season ends, but it looks like they want to keep this going. There will be a ceremony for this all-star match.
And I think the big thing right now, Phil Shane, is when will Messi and Ronaldo get together here towards the end of this game that's over, obviously, and what kind of celebration or what kind of handshake or what kind of embrace will be there between 2 superstars, 2 rivals as well, 2 adversaries, you might say.
Marcelo Gallardo, well, might have been an audition for him too. An entertaining match and letting them enjoy themselves. Again, the 2 Argentines enjoying it. Gallardo and Neymar with a bit of a hug as well. Turn out the lights. The party may be just getting started in Riyadh.
And these are always interesting things, Phil. Yes, there is genuine love between some players. There is also some jealousy, some hatreds over time, and Mbappe and Hakimi, best friends. Neymar and Messi always very tight off the field as well after these games. But what's the interaction at the end of all it is between Ronaldo and Messi? That's what everybody is still waiting for, including myself.
Gallardo might be trying to say, hey, look, if you go to River. The fans have been a big part of this.
Hasn't made the jump, Phil, after such great success.
Word about Inter Miami maybe having to retime their bid, but they still seem hungry. You know that Newell's would love to, but would he go to his hometown team and maybe close where wins would be at a premium, considering Boca and River still rule the roost?
Yeah, good point. I would love to see him in Europe. 3 former teammates at Real Madrid, obviously.
Where will Navas end up? Can PSG afford to let him go in this winter window? Is he the security blanket just in case?
All depends on what Sculce has seen from Rico in training as well, with not seeing any games. That will be a number 2 then, Phil. Yeah, so some big decisions still to be made. The what ifs. In saying that squad is so deep, they have to shed some of those players. Sarabia being one of them already, Phil.
Well, for PSG, They do have that charter all ready to go. And they take on tiny. Think about this, from Riyadh and 70,000 or so to taking on 6th tier Pays de Cassel in the next round of the Coupe de France, or Stade de France.
Where some of these young
Ekitik's old
players,
squad coming up a few days later.
Where some of these young players, especially in the Coupe de France, might get an opportunity again, where Mendes can get more minutes, where Vitinha and Verratti maybe can get some minutes as well.
Playing at the Bollard de la Ligue.
Without losing sight of having to win that game too, Phil.
That's crossing Lanz's stadium, so you know the crowd will be against PSG.
No doubt.
After that is Montpellier, who again just let their goalkeeper head to Germany, as Jurgen Sommer making the jump to Bayern.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Man of the Match trophy will now be presented by the chairman of the General Entertainment Authority, His Excellency, Mr. Turki Al-Sheikh, to Cristiano Ronaldo.
So from the Riyadh Stars, Cristiano.
No surprises there, Phil. Although over 60 minutes, not having played competitive for a while, a pretty darn good performance. You talk about you played against Marquinhos, Ramos, some big players, 2 goals in that first half, well deserved.
Plenty of stars to go around, even on the defensive side in this offensive showcase. The first of many awards and Man of the Match trophies I think he will see. Players not leaving the pitch yet either.
Although they would like to, Phil. I've been there.
It is in the 50s right now.
I've been there, done that. Messi is going, get me out of here.
He's got a mate waiting in the dressing room.
Yes.
Again, many just waiting, as you pointed out, for that one moment. What a performance by that man. And that man. Those men, in fact. Yunsu Zhang, Ali Al-Boulaye. Otherwise, it could have easily been more.
Let's look at Chef again, is it?
As that black eye developing with his collision from his former teammate, Keylor Navas. Neymar and Messi, the 2 ex-Barcelona men, picking up the gauntlet for this PSG experiment. Part of the experiment could be ruled a success here, because PSG already a star team, lifting itself to the pinnacle, arguably, but they want to do it on the field and in the trophy case.
It's a win-win for everybody, Phil. I think in this case, for Saudi Arabia, for PSG, for this all-star team that played so well. Here you got some of the Portuguese guys, Danilo.
Does Musa Marega speak Portuguese? I'm wondering.
Yes.
Ah, that's true. Good point. Has some time in the Super League. And what a performance he had in the first half. Quite the handful. And he'll be the guy that will be looking to capitalize at Cristiano Ronaldo's expense.
It's interesting to see, too, if you look at these guys, they're the different physical makeups of some of these players. Vitinha is small, but plays big. There's Porto everywhere also, not just Portuguese players, but Porto players. One of the great clubs out of Portugal in terms of producing brilliant young players. We just talked about the PSG Academy as well.
Beyond imagination, it says. Maybe beyond expectations as well.
In front of a worldwide audience too, Phil, so winners all across, I think. Some great football, some extraordinary goals, and again, two of the best ever at display. But maybe the last time, and even
assistant team for their tonight's effort. Round of applause for the referees this evening.
The referees getting honored. Again, considering some of the history between Qatar and Saudi Arabia. I'm wondering if they had to pull that out of the vault to get it to the trophy stand.
Looks solid gold. Might not weigh as much as the World Cup trophy yet, but that's everybody will get their medals, ball being signed as well. I'm sure that there will be a lot of people. All referees are in line with a ball in hand to get autographs, not just for the dignitaries, but more so from some of these iconic players, old and young. Some of them end of their career still playing at the highest level. Some, like an Mbappe, with a World Cup at 23 under his name already, and then some of the younger stars that played for PSG in that second half as well.
Sanchez looked good. Talked about Fabian Ruiz maybe as an emergency left back, as he showed he could do that as well. But Garbi, Husni, Kari, Bichiabu. I mean, some of these players might never actually become big at PSG before they are moved on somewhere else. Just look at the Nkunkus and Komans and Mike Magnans of the world. Players who are world class in their own right, but not quite getting the chance. But here on this night, they had a chance to wear the colors and show what they could do. The Riyadh season team, the Riyadh All-Stars coming through. Cristiano the first.
الآن يتقدم أعضاء فريق موسم الرياض.
Sami with a good performance in the second half, Phil. Almost hit the target. That give and go with Toliska.
This might rival the World Cup final ceremony.
Great goalkeeping today on both ends.
There you go. A handful.
Gustavo Carrillo.
And now PSG getting set to step to the podium. And another roar as Messi's face pops up on the big screen. Well, by the way, another thing that these games do, just like a lot of the preseason stuff here in the States with MLS, a lot of these PSG players, and you know, because of Messi and Ronaldo, there were a lot of top flight players around the globe tuning in just to see. This is a bit of a recruitment video for 2 hours, and there might be more stars that join the influx. There might be one of them.
Yes, Gallardo would love to make that move, but if I was him, I would go in a real competitive environment in Europe where he's wanted and could showcase his skills.
I think that national team job might be locked up for the next 4 years.
There's some coaches that are very comfortable in their own countries, their own skin, and do very well financially. Don't seem to have a need to go out there.
But it's hard to imagine him in Argentina anywhere but River Plate.
Yes.
And he brought them to the pinnacle and so close to doing it again. Now the PSG staff making their way up towards the podium as well.
The Riyadh season game, please put your hands together for Paris Saint-Germain.
They're trying to push Ramos to be the first.
الآن
And, well,
there seems to be a real good vibe around this team that we haven't seen for a few years. That's Ramos' influence. Messi, Hakimi seems to be a real good guy.
The guys who have done it before. I mean, they're not looking over their shoulders.
Correct. More comfortable in their own skin, willing to give more towards each other, both on and off the field. Messi today saying, go ahead, Neymar, take one. And Mbappe take a penalty, where clearly he could have owned that one, and there he is.
Ramos lead the line, and Messi again getting a warm welcome. Zaire Emery again at 16. Some of these other youngsters. Ayman Kari. Nice to see Pembele and Mendes both return from injury.
Yes.
Great to see Navas out there. Bichiabu again impressive. The future looks bright, even though Messi and Ronaldo might be nearing the final page. There's still a lot of pages to be written for PSG. And maybe again, as we saw from Mbappe and we've seen from Haaland this year, this funny old game has a way of recreating itself.
I remember some of the tours we did in the NASL with particularly Johan Cruyff for 2 years, Phil, when we went to the Far East, the Middle East as well.
Cosmos brought all-stars with them as well.
The staff becomes bigger. Everybody wants to get a piece of a medal. The players group, there's Marquinhos, who just did an interview, the last one.
Mbappe doesn't want to touch it first. It is, I think, Marquinhos they're going to try and get to come up, and there he is. PSG victorious on the day. And the winners of this Riyadh season all-star match, it is PSG. But what a match it was. 5-4 the final. Fireworks after, but some beautiful fireworks during as well.
Absolutely. Maybe the last dance between two iconic players of that generation, or maybe of this last century in Mbappe and Neymar, but more so Messi and Ronaldo.
Nothing. It really is something.